Welcome back to another custom mode showcase. This time round, we're gonna keep it pretty simple. We're going to explore a time where Raditz shows up at the end of OG Dragon Ball as opposed to starting off Dragon Ball Z. Now this is gonna put him as showing up at the 23rd Tenkaichi Budokai, and he is going to participate in said Budokai. Now, I wanted him to kind of be passive in this. He wants Kakarot. He wants to see what Kakarot's doing. And of course, he's upset that things haven't worked out the way it was supposed to be. This planet should be destroyed. But curiosity gets the best of him hearing about this tournament. He hears about a young boy with a tail who's going to be participating and knows that that is indeed Kakarot. I do want to note that this was a very hard thing to make and emulate a world tournament, since you can't just like make a world tournament in the custom battle modes. It took a lot of experimenting with how switching out works and all that fun stuff. I wanted ring outs to be a part of it, but unfortunately it doesn't really work with the way I had to set this up. It took a lot of finagling to finally get this to work and get the characters to switch the way I wanted them to. So it was kind of a pain. Hopefully one day we'll have a proper world tournament custom battle type thing where we can put cutscenes on world tournaments or something along those lines. For now though, this was kind of a pain in the ass to make, but I got it done, so let's get into it. So in this version of events, we got a few more Z Warriors participating in this tournament who did last time, primarily to kind of fill out the roster, and then obviously Raditz is in there in place of somebody else. So our roster this time is looking like Piccolo, Raditz, Goku, Krillin, Tien, Chaozu, and Jackie Chan. And we're going to have a pretty interesting first round here. A lot of matchups that it was about the best way I could think of for it to play out. We give Raditz a freebie, starting off against Chaozu. Nobody obviously knows who Raditz is, so it's very unlikely for us to understand that this is such a freebie for him. Poor Chaozu. Unfortunately, poor Chaozu. Krillin will take on Piccolo first. Tien and Yamcha will face off. And Goku and Jackie Chun will face off, and that is your first round. Starting off with Chaozu versus Raditz. Raditz is going to make very quick work of Chaozu, with no surprise there. Krillin versus Piccolo, however, is not a particularly close fight, but closer than everybody thought it would be. Krillin is a very crafty fighter and will put up his best fight possible before ultimately Piccolo seals the deal. Piccolo moves on to fight Raditz in the semifinals. And now, after being horrified by two villains' treatments of their other competitors, the crowd gets two heroes in Yamcha and Tien. And Yamcha is going to go all out. He is determined to finally beat Tien and prove he is better. But Tien, unfortunately, is still too much for him, and after a well-fought battle, quickly eliminates him. The final battle of the quarterfinals is a rematch of a previous finals between Goku and Jackie Chan. Now, Goku at this point has far surpassed his master, and it's only a matter of time for him to show that exactly that. However, Jackie Chun is no slouch, and he will put up an excellent fight against Goku as he always does. And ultimately, it's going to take some trickery from Goku and just a little bit of skill to finally surpass his master. Goku moves on, and now the semifinals are set. Your semifinals are Raditz versus Majunior and Goku versus Tien Shinhan. Very rarely, if ever, do we get a matchup between two villains that ultimately doesn't affect things that much. Like, they both have ulterior motives and they're both here to destroy Goku. So it's just a matter of who's going to pull it out first. And now, We're considering this Raditz as a bit weaker, closer to the Dragon Ball level, but ultimately still the strongest enemy we have seen, even compared to Piccolo, who was already way up there. So this will be a hard-fought fight between two great villains, but ultimately Raditz is going to pull away here, and Piccolo, in disgust, will simply leave and come for Goku another day. Tien Shinhan vs. Goku, another rematch of a different World Tournament Finals. Tien, of course, barely winning because Goku just happened to get hit by a truck just before he was going to land before him. So he's very determined to get the win just correct. And Goku, of course, wants the win because he was robbed of it by being hit by said truck. This is a very, very entertaining battle. And unlike the original Tenkaichi, or 23rd Tenkaichi Budokai, not a whole lot of messing around by Goku. He plans to take this serious the whole way through. And ultimately will come out with the win, but Tien will fight hard. Now, on to the finals. The finals are finally here, and this is where Raditz explains to Goku just who he really is. A Saiyan named Kakarot, sent to Earth when he was a baby with the plan of destroying this world. Now Goku wants to hear none of it. His name is Goku, this is where he lives, and he will defend it. So, he's coming at Raditz with everything he's got, and Raditz is the toughest enemy he's fought yet. Despite being nerfed from where he was towards the beginning of Z, Raditz is still quite formidable and has a leg up on Goku for sure. It's going to take everything Goku has and more to ultimately come away with the win from this battle. While Raditz has been being good about following the rules so far, the more this fight goes on and the better fight Goku puts up, the more frustrated he gets, before finally he tires of the event and threatens to blow up the entire crowd. Now thankfully the announcer is able to get everybody evacuated, and there's minimal casualties. The announcer, of course, is hiding off, just out of sight, still wanting to commentate the battle for everybody, despite the danger. Goku, realizing how truly evil this character, who calls himself his own brother, is enraged, and now is really pumping up everything he can to make sure that he puts this Raditz guy to rest. After a long, hard, difficult battle, ultimately Goku does manage to pull out the win. And much like in the original 23rd Tenkaichi 3 Budokai, he was still trying to win the tournament, and calls game when he ultimately knocks Raditz out of bounds. The announcer, who managed to stay away from all the carnage, but still be close enough to see the fight, declares Goku the winner. Now Raditz is completely enraged, and with his last bit of strength for the moment, fires one last blast at Kakarot. Now unfortunately for him, Kakarot still had some energy left, and was able to knock him away before he could land the killing blow. Raditz escapes for now, and Goku is the winner, the 23rd Tenkaichi Budokai. And that's where today's story ends. I've thought about maybe continuing this one on in the future, but I had another idea in the back of my head that I wanted to do for a full series, and I'm going to focus on that one next. So for now, this story ends here. It could obviously have some major repercussions for Dragon Ball Z. We'll have to see that some other time maybe. So I want to thank you all for watching. See you next time.